वायुपुत्राय वज्रंगबली पंचवक्त्राय महाकाय ओम नमो आंजनेयाय। संकटमोचन महाबलाय वायुपुत्राय वज्रंगबली पंचवक्त्राय महाकाय ओम नमो आंजनेयाय। Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
te deva bhavayantu vaha
te deva bhavayantu vaha
parasparam bhavayantaha
parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः
यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः
यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः
यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः
भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः
भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः
ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्
ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्
अन्नाद्भवन्ति भूतानि
अन्नाद्भवन्ति भूतानि
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing some of the dimensions of bhavaka, bhavana, bhava. These are all coming from the same roots only, same root. Now, if you take this word bhava and go deep into it, it is a complete sadhana by itself. The whole wisdom is there. Now from that we are taking a few dimensions which will be very much suitable and useful in the context of yajna, which we are studying. So what is he essentially saying here? He is saying your bhavana is the key, your intention. It's not merely the external ritual. It's not merely any external action which you do, but it is your bhav. A master always looks at the bhav of the student. He does not go by what the student says or does. He does not go merely by that. See, verbally you can manipulate. You can manipulate your behavior also. But you cannot manipulate your non-verbal communication. Non-verbal means there are people who are teaching how to achieve excellent non-verbal communication. That is in terms of body language and all that. But what I mean by non-verbal here is non-manifest communication. Even that body language is a manifestation only. So you cannot manipulate your non-manifest the communication. That is, that which has not been manifested in a gross way, which is your emotions, thoughts, the energy field, the energy which you are generating. These things cannot be manipulated. So a yogi is one who does tapas and who is able to penetrate. So whatever is there in the within a student at the deeper level can be easily seen. It's not an effort. Just like, see, when you have two eyes, you can see whatever is there in front of you. It's not a big effort. Similarly, when you do tapas and when the third eye starts awakening, you get the power of intuition, you get the power of clairvoyance. You can start seeing what is not manifest externally. That is the bhava. Now, what is very interesting is he is not talking about the expressions at all. He is not dealing with that at all. Even when it comes to devotion, he does not deal with the external aspects. If you see, the external modes of worship will vary, will change according to times, will change according to traditions also. Like if you take the Shaivite tradition, there will be a particular mode of worship. If you take the Vaishnavite tradition, there will be a particular mode of worship. Even within that particular tradition, there will be many branches, differences. Now, the question is, who is right, who is wrong? That question itself is absurd actually, because these are all only expressions of the bhava. The bhava is devotion. Now, whether this mode of worship is right, whether that mode of worship is right, a sadhak will not really waste his time in this kind of an analysis, because they are all at the surface level. That is what we can derive from this verse. He is directly going to the bhav. Even if you want to please the gods, he says, bhavayata. It is through your bhavana that you can invoke and get their blessings. He is not prescribing any particular mode of worship. For example, let us say in one particular tradition, you need to bow down once. In another tradition, you need to bow down twice. Let us take this example. Now, who is right? Should you bow down once or should you bow down twice? Both are right, as long as the bhava is that of devotion. If the bhava is not of devotion, then these rituals have no meaning, no significance. You may externally be doing all this, but what is the point? So what has happened is the true spirituality has got lost, and people are focusing more on the externalities. What is the dress which you're wearing? What are the rules which you're following? All that is fine if you do it with the right spirit. But when the spirit is gone, the bhavana is not there, and then you are doing all this, that will lead to a kind of a stiffness, stubbornness. You will slowly start thinking, this mode of worship alone is right, I am only right. all the others are wrong, they know not what they are doing. So many, this is a potential for a lot of quarrels. Whereas when you go to the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Bhava, look into your Bhava. It's not only the Bhagavad Gita, all the great masters stressed upon the Bhavana only. That's why people from any tradition will feel comfortable with a yogi, because he is like an ocean, he accepts all traditions. He accepts all religions. Accepts means what? He sees the bhavana, because the principle behind all these things is one and the same. As long as that is there, then the external differences do not really matter. And if you see the various quarrels in the name of religion or in the name of various traditions, you will find they will all be related to the external modes of worship. Philosophy-wise also there are quarrels, that I'm not getting into it now. But even in that, if you go deeper into it, actually there is nothing to quarrel. Because see, what is a Siddhanta? Siddhanta means that philosophy, like you have, for example, Advaita Siddhanta. You have Visishta Advaita Siddhanta. Advaita was propagated by Adi Shankaracharya. Visishta Advaita by Sri Ramanujacharya. Then you have Dvaita Siddhanta, propagated by Madhvacharya. Propagated. It's not that they started it. Even before that, the basic tradition, like for example, if you take worship of Lord Shiva, it's been there right from time immemorial. The worship of Lord Vishnu, it has always been there. Who is a Vaishnava? One who is completely devoted to Lord Vishnu, in the strictest sense of the term. So when these masters came and they suggested a few things, they set up a system. Now, one is the external modes of worship, there are a lot of differences in that. The other is, it looks like in the Siddhanta, the philosophy itself, there is a difference. In Dvaita, they say you and God are separate. In Visishta Advaita, I am a part of God. In Advaita, I am God. There is nothing but God. Now, who is right, who is wrong? They keep on arguing with each other. They say, no, this is only right, that is only right. But if you really stand back and take a totality perspective, all three are right. They are three different approaches to relate to the infinite. That's all. An object, when viewed from different angles, will look differently. But it's all referring to that one object only. So I'm not going fully into that now, just a small glimpse to just tell you that all the differences, all the quarrels, it all happens because of the superficial approach. You stick to the externalities and leave the spirit. So here, Krishna is establishing true spirituality. It doesn't matter what tradition you're from. Whatever it is that you're practicing, you should do it with the right bhavana. So a yogi is one who deals with spirituality in its purest form. That is why he is able to accept any tradition. He doesn't see the differences in a fundamental way, in the deeper sense. So, bhavana being the key, that's why several dimensions were given to you. You need to master them. First is that three-step process, the conception, thinking, and then attaching your feelings. See, feelings or emotions play a major role in materializing anything. Your conception, thoughts and feelings, they only come out as reality in your life. Whatever it is that you are experiencing is nothing but a reflection of what you have conceived, what you keep thinking about, and whatever you're feeling. If your feelings are very negative, you will find that the whole world is negative. You will be attracting negative experiences to you. If your feelings are positive, you will neutralize all the past and then you will start attracting positive things towards you. That is why our yogis always say that your life is in your hands. Don't think that some God is sitting and determining what should happen in your life. No, it is your own karmas. So your karma starts from your conception and then thought, feeling, and then only comes the action. So you should master this. You should do the sadhana. Every day when you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, it helps you to master this. And then start applying this in your life. You know, we had this Finding Rhythm in Life empowerment, no? That is now available online also. So the 12 aspects of life were given to you. In each of those aspects, you can apply this principle. And at each step, you will find it difficult to start with, but if you apply yourself, it will become easy. Like, for example, you will find it difficult to conceive what you want. Many people face this issue. They say, sir, that's so difficult, it's so confusing. One time I want this, one time I want that. That's where you require this wisdom to gain clarity. But once you have conceived, and this is what I want to experience, then the next challenge will be to generate thoughts towards it, because your mind will get distracted. The thinking about what you have conceived in a conscious way, that is actually called concentration. So it is only through your sadhana and tapas that you can develop concentration. As your concentration powers start increasing, then you will be able to willfully generate the thoughts. Willfully generate thoughts and make them flow towards whatever it is that you have conceived, whatever goal you have conceived. See, this comes only through practice. You just can't simply hear it once and say, no, I've become a yogi. That's not possible. Yogis master this. Yogis master this by thorough practice. And then once your thoughts have started running towards your goal, the very important factor, feeling, emotion, you should start feeling your goal. Feeling means, see, there are two ways of gaining knowledge. One is through intellectual understanding, the other is through feeling also. Supposing you want to understand how sorrowful or how joyful a person is, if you just go on analyzing, you will not be able to understand. If you identify with a person and feel what he's feeling, instantly you'll be able to understand. So feeling or emotions is a very, very important tool. So you should invest your feelings in whatever it is that you want, not on what you don't want. Today, all your feelings are running towards what you don't want. You ask a person about some problem which he is facing. He will tell that with so much of emotion, bhavana. You ask the same person, do you have a roof? Do you get 3 meals a day? He'll say, yeah, I'm getting it. There is no emotion, there is no gratitude for the positive things. If you observe your own mind, you will understand whatever is being said to you. Every time you encounter something negative, and when you talk about it, when you read it, you do it with so much of emotion. Positive things, you just take it casually. Now you should start reversing that. This is how you can master your mind and you can master your life. When Arjuna went through this weak pity and he felt sorrowful, he invested all his emotions in that. Now Krishna is changing that direction slowly towards the higher. So practice this, and it is practice which will give you that mastery. A yogi is one who has mastered this to such an extent where he has complete mastery over his mind. He can just conceive something, think and feel in a flash, and that will start materializing. That is a advanced level of mastery. Initially, these are 3 different processes for you. But for a yogi, they happen in a flash. When a yogi wishes others, may you prosper, may you do. It happens in a flash. He conceives, thinks and feels at one go. That is why the yogi gets what is called as Vak Siddhi. Vak Siddhi means the supernatural power, Siddhi, whatever you say will happen. There is a science behind it. It's nothing great. Even when you do the sadhana, you will also get it. What it means is, when your words are backed by feeling, thinking and conception, this process, it gains a lot of momentum and energy. So the chances of that energy materializing are more. That is called Vak Siddhi. So in our tradition, they always used to take the blessings of the yogis, because the belief is that when a yogi, when these great masters bless us, now we absorb that energy. So that will create a positive effect. So this is the first thing, and then we also saw the other higher aspects, that is imagination. So imagination, as I told you, you should deal with it with a lot of caution, because in imagination the mind can get lost. So what we are talking about in the yogic sadhana is imagining under the supervision of your awareness. Not just allowing the mind to go wherever it wants. That is daydreaming. That is not a state of concentration. So here, first concentration, and then feeling, conception, thinking, feeling, and then imagination. That is vividly imagining whatever it is that you want. Vividly means as if it is a real experience. See, if you really think about it, it is a participation of your mind that matters. If your mind does not register an experience, that experience is as good as no experience. Supposing there is beautiful music which is played, but a person is sleeping there. His mind is not available to register. Then as far as he is concerned, there is no experience. So it is a mental participation which actually defines an experience, because the mind has to register. So whether you imagine, visualize inside, or that is vividly, or whether it is actually happening outside, both are considered to be same in the yogic parlance. That is why you don't need to do anything. If you just sit and keep imagining all negative things, that will generate negative karmas. Same thing positive also. So imagination is a very powerful tool. Imagination, see, loosely imagination means allowing your mind to go. But here we are talking of controlled imagination, that is disciplined imagination. These are all terminologies which I am using to make you understand the principle better. Supervised imagination. Who is supervising? Your own awareness. Then that process is called visualization. So you can use that power effectively. In the future empowerment programs, I'll be teaching all this so that you can gain complete mastery over your mind. We will see that. That you can start practicing at your level from now itself. And then the last two things which we saw was devotion and meditation. So devotion is nothing but the emotion of affection or love directed towards the higher. Now, some people say devotion is blind and all that. That is because you are bringing the rules of logic in an emotion. Any emotion is an emotion, it is not logic. And logic is logic. How can you combine these two? Okay, if you say devotion is blind, what about any other emotion? Is love then logical? Actually, if you logically analyze, you will stop loving the person, whomever you are loving today. Is that person a good person or not? Does he have good qualities or not? If you start analyzing all this, whatever little relationships which you are having today, everything will break. That is why where there is logic, you analyze. Where there is emotion, you should just feel it. So devotion is directly feeling and getting connected with the infinite. That is true devotion. If you just simply close your eyes and think of that infinite power behind everything which is happening, see, the whole universe is functioning so meticulously. The trees are growing, the flowers are blooming, the fruits are hanging, the sun is shining, the moon is there, the stars are there, the planets are revolving around the sun. So many individuals are all functioning. Your breathing is happening, your cells are functioning. Like this, if you see, the entire universe is functioning without any participation from your side. Are you really participating directly in terms of your blood flowing, for example? Your blood is constantly flowing, no? Are you participating directly and telling your stomach, now come on, secrete the HCl to digest the food I am going to eat? Are you telling your kidney to filter the water? Nothing. They are all happening. Similarly, externally you see so many, millions and millions of things are happening on their own. So, what is that power which is behind all this? The moment you start thinking about that and you focus it on that supreme power, automatically you will start experiencing that feeling of devotion. Your hair will start standing on their ends. You will get so inspired. Devotion is nothing but the emotion of love and affection directed towards the higher in an inspired way, not in a dry way. To practice devotion, you don't require any particular place. Don't think devotion should be practiced only in a place of worship. This world is your place of worship. This body is your temple. Anywhere, at any time, you just have to get connected to that divine source and get inspired. Automatically. The devotion will start happening. And when you experience devotion, your mind will become very still. It will become single pointed. That is the state of meditation. The next dimension which was given to you. Meditation is nothing but single pointed focus on the infinite. With full awareness, with full feeling, and actually going beyond that also into silence. That will lead to silence. Silence is real meditation, but this is the practice. And it is devotion which will help you in that. Knowledge helps you to get prepared. But actually, when you are doing the sadhana, knowledge will not help you. It is your awareness, the intellectual awareness plus this devotion put together which will help you. That is why I said, if in imagination itself we saw, it has to be under the supervision of your awareness. That is the key. At any point of time, if you lose your awareness, then you have lost your concentration. It's not a spiritual state. Actually, meditation is 100% awareness. And that supreme state is supreme awareness, unconditioned consciousness. So these are all the different stages or steps in the sadhana of bhava. You can make a note of them, and whatever inspires you, you can start practicing them. Once you get to that stage of meditation and all, thereafter, anything which you do, you will do it in a very powerful way, in a meditative way. It gathers immense power. When your bhavana is strong and pure, that makes you an extremely powerful person. That is why before giving all these, I gave one dimension of bhavaka. It means promoting one's welfare. Because all this you should use for doing good. Doing good to yourself and doing good to others. You do everything. Finally, you are using it for all destructive purposes. That is no use. That is an asuric life. See, if you take the Puranas, all the asuras, demons, they also did a lot of tapas. They conceived, they thought about it, feeling was there, imagination was there, devotion was also there, but not pure devotion, devotion for a particular purpose. And then meditation also was done by them. All this was there, but what was missing? Promoting one's welfare was missing, doing good to others. So unless that is there, it is no longer a yajna. So that's why they had to face the consequences of their actions. So may you nourish the gods by this. Devan bhavayata anena. Te deva bhavayantu vaha. May the gods nourish you. So you offer your bhava to the devas, and let the devas offer, the higher beings offer their bhava to you. So both will benefit by this. That is the next line. Parasparam bhavayantaha shreya parama avapsyata. Parasparam bhavayantaha, nourishing each other. It's a beautiful phrase, parasparam. Parasparam means mutual. In the management jargon, they call this as win-win philosophy. They are marketing it as if some new thinker, somebody has discovered it. This is a very ancient concept. It's there in the Bhagavad Gita. No? Parasparam means mutual benefit. Win-win philosophy means what? If two people are interacting, both have to win. Means there should be a mutual benefit for both. Only then the deal will be successful and sustainable also. Supposing you alone win, the other person loses in a deal. How will that other person come to you again? Or vice versa, he wins, he gets a benefit, you don't get. You will not be able to sustain it again. Both of you lose, no use. So both of you have to benefit. Whether it is a family relationship, whether it is a work relationship, wherever two people are involved, minimum of two people are involved, unless both of them are benefited, that relationship cannot be sustained. Now, what happens is, in most of the relationship, one person keeps thinking about his or her benefit alone. The other person also does the same thing. So, in that process, the relationship will break. You take, for example, a married couple, husband and wife. Now, both have to benefit. Otherwise, there will be friction in that relationship. The wife will do her duties, the husband will do her duties, the wife will show her love, the husband will show his love, the wife will receive the husband's love, the husband will receive wife's love. There has to be that give and take. If the husband says, no, I will do whatever I want, you have to cater to my demands, that relationship will break. Vice versa, if the wife says, you alone have to cater to my demands, again that relationship will break. Param is a beautiful principle. If that principle is practiced in a society, that society will prosper. So I said minimum two people. Supposing there are a group of people, again the same principle, parasparam, mutual. So let's take a company. Several people are working together in a project. No, everyone has to benefit. Then that project will be successful, that will be sustainable. See, the sustenance is the key. It is not about doing one action on one particular day and going away. How will you sustain the momentum? Whatever it is that you are getting into in life, are you able to sustain that energy over a period of time? So it is the principle of parasparam which will help you to sustain anything in life. Even in a spiritual session like this, the speaker is speaking, you're listening. Now there has to be a mutual benefit. Only the speaker is benefiting. He is, just for argument's sake, let us say, no benefit for you all. Now, how will you be able to sustain it? Other thing is, you are benefited so much, speaker is miserable. Then will he be able to sustain it? No. There has to be an exchange of energy. Parasparam means exchange of energy. That is the principle of parasparam. Life is based on give and take, this principle of exchange of energy. The further deeper meaning of parasparam I will give you. But before that, first the basic principle you need to understand. Wherever there is proper exchange of energy, that system will sustain, that system will prosper. The give and take should be balanced. When there is an imbalance in this exchange of energy, that is when friction starts. Exchange of energy, whether it is in terms of money, let's say financial dealing you're having with someone, or whether it's in terms of emotions, let's say love, whatever it is, there has to be that exchange. If it is one-sided, it will not work. So if you want to make your life wonderful, start thinking in terms of good for yourself and for others around you with whom you are interacting. Your ego will come and say, why should I think of the other person? Is that person thinking of me? You start. That system will sustain. If that person is unable to come to that frequency, now that person will suffer and he will not be able to continue in that system. If you want to attract positive things to you, if you want to attract positive people to you, practice this parasparam. From this moment onwards, always think in terms of mutual benefit. Seva is not helping the other person and torturing yourself. Many people misunderstand seva. Seva is an outcome of overflow. When you have excess, then only you can give, no? If you yourself are lacking something, how can you give? Whatever you have, you will give once and that's it, it will get over. To sustain your seva, to sustain your charity, you require to keep earning more. That is the take and then the give. This is such a beautiful principle. It can be effectively applied at home, it can be applied in office. It's a very powerful management principle. See, our great rishis, they just gave these principles just like that. Today, one principle like this is taken up and win philosophy. And if I go to give a talk in a company, I may also have to talk that language. Unfortunately, because that's the only language which people are understanding in that level. But our great masters, they applied all this to each and every aspect of life. So even if you take a simple process of breathing, it is an exchange of energy. You take in air, you give out air. Inhalation is there, exhalation also is there. Supposing you go on inhaling, will you be able to sustain life? Not possible. Or you go on exhaling, no inhalation, you will get into trouble. The process of breathing, which defines life, which is the key to life, will stop when there is no proper exchange of energy. Like this, you can analyze all the activities of life. In everything, you will find this principle of exchange of energy is at work. In nature, I am talking of in nature. You water the plants, you take care of it. It will become a tree, it will give back shade, it will give back fruits. The exchange of energy is there. So in the good old days, they practiced this principle of parasparam very much in the society. That was called Satya Yuga, the age of truth. Everyone thought in terms of mutual benefit. So I am again telling you, if you are only taking, no giving, that is definitely selfishness. You cannot sustain it. If you are only giving, no taking, that is, for a start, it is unselfishness, but you will not be able to sustain it. So the giving and taking has to happen in a balanced way. So in general, how do you practice? See, parasparam is a very important aspect of yajna. How do you practice it in life? You are receiving so many things. You have got an education. Somebody taught you this, somebody taught you that. You're getting food every day. So many things you're taking in for the body, for the mind. Now, that is one aspect. Now, if you just stop with that, then that is wrong. Now, what should I contribute? In the very next verse, this parasparam, in the next verse, in the coming two verses, he will be expanding this principle of parasparam. If you don't understand this here, you will find it difficult to understand the next couple of verses. That is why I'm pausing here and explaining this principle. Because depending on the proportion of this give and take, he will classify it into tamas, rajas or sattva. Very, very interesting. He doesn't use the word tamas, rajas, sattva, but a clear reference we can see. When we come there, we'll see all that. But first, absorb this principle. So in life, you're taking. So what am I contributing? You should start thinking that way. Then you take a close relationship, like a relationship which you have with your spouse, for example. I am taking several things. What am I giving back? Here I am talking in terms of emotions. This is applicable at external level, physical level, monetary level, everywhere. But here I am talking of emotions. That is why our great masters always gave this as a sadhana to be practiced. That is, give love and receive love. Very, very interesting. They never said only give love and go away. No. Give love and also receive love. Now you will say, sir, I want to receive, the other person is not giving. It is not like that. Here we are talking about a deeper connection. The moment you generate an emotion and direct it on someone, you will get back. Whether that person is conscious about it or not, you will get back. So that is what they are asking you to receive, that energy which will nourish you. Earn wealth, do good to society, do good to yourself, fulfill all your duties, duties towards your family, duties towards yourself, your family, towards society. That is the giving part. Earning is the taking part. So, if you maintain a correct balance between the give and take, your life will be so wonderful. Yajna is nothing but give and take only. The principle of exchange of energy. You offer, that is ahuti, and you get back the blessings in return. That's what he's saying. May you nourish the gods by this. You are giving. May the gods nourish you. You are receiving. Giving and receiving. Sometimes taking can also be misunderstood. Receiving is a better word. But both mean the same in this context. So in case I say taking also, understand it correctly. Even when a student approaches a guru, there has to be a proper exchange of energy. Why did they keep Guru Dakshina and all that? Is a guru dependent on all that? Definitely no. But unless there is an exchange of energy, it will not facilitate the growth. It will not facilitate the increase of welfare of the student. So whenever the other person gives, you receive. Whenever you give, the other person receives. That is the we can say the yardstick of a wonderful relationship. So now in life, you should start thinking. You should start reflecting. Is my energies, are my energies balanced in terms of exchange? Am I giving back enough? If you go to that extreme, then focus on self-care. I've told you always, when you help someone, it should not be at the cost of your self-care. So your first duty is to take care of yourself. Self-care is different, selfishness is different. If you are unable to take care of yourself, you cannot do, even if you want to help others, you will not be able to sustain it. So self-care and contributing in terms of taking care of others. This should be your life. This is a life of all yogis. Why is it that a yogi meditates? That is a nourishment. Without meditation, what healing can be given? Today there are healing courses. They just think healing means some technique. No, a person has to do a lot of tapas. If that person's energy has to have a healing effect on others, it doesn't come just like that. So all the great siddhas, they spend a lot of time in meditation. Why? That is the nourishment part. And then they give. Once you go to that advanced stage, your parasparam is between you and God, you and the infinite. Whatever it is that you want, you get nourished from the infinite. And you give back in the form of devotion. It's not that the infinite requires it. We are not saying it requires. It is all for your benefit only ultimately. But that exchange will be there. That is why they emphasize so much on devotion. You give, you take. So, if you take the word parasparam, an amazing phrase. Actually, it contains the entire path, see, when we go into it, you will understand. The word para has several dimensions. Now we are taking two dimensions which are in this context. Para means other, number one. Para also means highest, the best. If you take the next line, there is no param shreya. That is also the word para only is used. There we have translated it as the highest good, because that is the dimension which is applicable here. So when it comes to a relationship, let's take two individuals. He is saying apply the principle of parasparam, which means there should be a giving, there should be a receiving also. Giving element, receiving element. Now the question which will come in your mind is, who should give first? See, the ego always wants to create some problem. So even when it comes to parasparam, it is the ego which is a block, which will not allow you to practice this principle. Because immediately it will make you ask this question, why should I give first? Let the other person first give. I will take and then I will give. Now, what you should understand is, another person's behavior is not under your control. What is under your control directly? Your behavior, your emotions, your thoughts. So that is why what our great master said is, when it comes to this principle of parasparam, you start. You take the initiative first. You give, you will receive. See, even in this verse, how has he structured it? May you nourish the gods by this, by Agnya. And then may the gods nourish you. The law of karma will function and you will get back. The consequences of your action will happen automatically. This is under your control. If you are going to say, let the other person give first, then I'll give, that is not under your control. It may happen, it may not happen. Supposing the other person doesn't choose, then that relationship will go off. So that is the beauty. Parasparam, we'll take the first dimension. First dimension is other. Start serving others. But don't forget to receive. Don't forget to take care of yourself also. That part also I explained in one of the previous sessions. From a higher standpoint, when you consider yourself as a soul, then whatever you refer to as yourself today, that itself becomes other. So what you should focus on is that serving others to start with. That should be a starting point. The reason why they are suggesting this is that is para. Para means other. Start seeing others. Start thinking in terms of others' welfare. Now, you will ask, then what will happen to me? See, the mind is automatically designed to take. Nobody needs to teach you to take. Does anybody need to teach you to be selfish? There is no training required. So that is why the masters are saying, consciously put an effort to give, to serve. When you start that process, that's what he's saying, may you, even when it comes to gods, may you nourish the gods. That system will start flowing and you will start receiving. This is the law of life. So there are three states which you go through. First state is a state of selfishness, where you're only concerned about your welfare. You're not bothered about anybody else. There are some people like that. They don't wish for the welfare of their own family members also. You forget about others. That is a very low state. Different degrees of selfishness are there. Then the next state is what we call as unselfishness, where you think in terms of giving and also self-care. That is unselfishness. That is the meaning of para, other. But what is interesting is, para also means the highest. Highest means the infinite God. Now when you keep on progressing in unselfishness, what is the advanced practice of this principle of parasparam? When you start seeing divinity or the infinite in the other person, that is real para. So when you see the other person as an individual, and when you help that person, when you give, that is unselfishness. But when you start seeing the other person as God, as a manifestation of divinity or the infinite, that is the highest, para means highest, then that becomes selflessness. Selflessness is nothing but absence of your limited self, which means the presence of your higher self, which is nothing but the infinite. So, the spiritual path is moving from selfishness to unselfishness and from unselfishness to selflessness. That is what is parasparam. The word paraha indicates this entire path. First, you're very selfish. You're only thinking about your welfare. You only take, never give anything. For this, no training is required. See, for all the negative things, no training is required. Would you require a seminar on how to be indisciplined? So, supposing I have an empowerment course, how to be indisciplined, you will say something is wrong. To be indisciplined, to be lazy, for any negative emotion, you don't require training. So to be selfish, there is no training required. But effort is required to become unselfish. So selfishness means only taking, no giving. That will lead to destruction. Then you move to unselfishness, which is the right balance of give and take. Give and take. I am not saying taking and giving. That is the key here, because that is under your control. So first you start serving. Whom? Others. Para. Others means the person who is next to you, whomever you are dealing with. Start thinking in terms of the welfare of that other person. And follow the principle of parasparam. Don't leave yourself. That is why he is not merely said para. He has said parasparam. Para. 2 times he has used that word. So one is para, that is from your angle, the other person. The other is from the other person's angle, you. He has not merely said, may you nourish the gods. There ends it. May you nourish the gods. May the gods nourish you. You should also receive. Then only you will be able to sustain. So in the process of so-called service and all that, don't leave out taking care of yourself. If you don't speak up for yourself, nobody else will come and speak up. Remember that. Many so-called spiritual people suffer, so-called good people suffer because they don't follow the spirit of parasparam. They are not smart enough to claim their rights, whatever is required for them. And then they say, oh, I am sacrificing so much, I have not got. See, this is the law. So from selfishness, start moving towards unselfishness. So selfishness is thinking only about your welfare. Unselfishness is thinking about your welfare and the other person's welfare. That is unselfishness. Para means other. Now when you keep on practicing this is one level of yajna. You will come to a stage, you will come to a position where you can practice selflessness. What is selflessness? You are neither thinking about your welfare nor the other person's welfare, because you, other, all these things are relative concepts, individualities. You are thinking about God or divinity. So you start seeing divine in the other person. You start seeing divinity in the other person. You are serving the other person because the other person is a manifestation of divinity. So you are serving divinity in the form of the other person. You are getting connected to the infinite. When you are receiving it as a blessings from infinity through that person. That is the state of selflessness. Selflessness doesn't mean there is no receiving. Please understand that. The focus shifts from the world to the infinite. So there is no limited self. That stage is called selflessness. So when you keep on practicing that at the advanced level, what will happen? He says, you shall obtain param shreya, the highest good. You will become one with the infinite. Because in both the acts of taking and receiving, taking and giving, your focus is on the infinite. So wherever your thoughts are, that's where you will go and merge. So your consciousness will merge with the infinite. So the word paraha actually is such a beautiful word. The very principle of moving from selfishness to unselfishness and from unselfishness to selflessness is being given just in this word paraha. Parasparam explains to you the principle of exchange of energy for sustenance. Now if you go deep, just one word para you take, how do you apply that in your life? First, you will have a lot of selfish tendencies. From there, move to unselfishness. Unselfishness is an intelligent balance of giving and receiving. And then move to selflessness. Selflessness is seeing this whole exchange of energy as a play of divinity, as an expression of divinity. Then your mind will soar high into that realm of the infinite. So, see, he's just mentioning it very casually. Parasparam bhavayantaha, nourishing each other, he says. So you can nourish each other as mortals, as finite individuals. You can nourish each other in a divine way. That is the difference between unselfishness and selflessness. If that each other is missing, then it becomes selfishness. One person is getting nourished, another person is not getting nourished, means that is selfishness. Is this clear? This is such a beautiful principle he is trying to give, and this is what is yajna. Yajna at different levels. When you are selfish, you are not doing any yajna. When you become unselfish, you have started the process of yajna. But when you become selfless, you are doing yajna in its purest form. So right now, let's take this act, this session. The speaker is giving this wisdom. It can be done in three ways. One is with a selfish bhav. Whatever I should get maximum from this? More, name and fame, or something, some benefit. And there, that if entire focus is only on that, that is selfishness. If the emphasis is on giving, then giving to the other person, let this wisdom spread to others, let their lives become better. Then that process of that exchange of energy is being ignited or triggered. May you nourish the gods by this. May you nourish. But the third and the highest yajna is, who am I to give or take and all that? That I itself is an illusion. It is all divine play. So, seeing the person who is receiving as a manifestation of divinity, you are serving God by giving this wisdom. And whatever emotions are received back, again that is coming back from divinity. Then that action becomes selflessness. See, why I am giving you this example is, normally you will say, sir, giving a Bhagavad Gita discourse, what a great seva it is. Not necessary. It all depends upon the bhavana. It is the bhav which determines whether an action is selfish or unselfish or selfless. Okay, so you think about these points. Very, very powerful. This principle is, this parasparam is something which you should reflect upon. The next week I will explain this a little more, and then we will continue further. He is also talking of param shreya avapsyata, shall obtain. Very interesting words he has used. Everything has a wonderful connotation, deeper connotation. We'll see all that. And then we will go to the next verses, wherein the parasparam principle is going to be expanded, because that is the very principle of yajna. The principle of exchange of energy. So I am repeating that several times so that that gets into your system. Today in the Nididhyasana meditation, we will be installing that. I'll give you instructions to install this principle in the deeper layers of your mind. Then you will find it very easy to practice. So do some homework today. Just examine your life in the light of this principle of parasparam. Is there a proper exchange of energy at home? Is there a proper exchange of energy in office? How will you find out? If there is no balance, definitely some friction will be there. Find out, am I missing out on something? Am I being over selfish? Or am I, in the name of unselfishness, am I not taking care of myself? What is causing this friction? What is causing this issue? Once you locate that, if you find, in this area I am too much selfish, then practice unselfishness there. Start serving, start giving. In one area, let's say you find that, my God, I am only giving. In that process, I am torturing myself. Then there, speak up for yourself. Assert yourself there. Apply the principle of self-care. Caring is unselfishness. Caring about yourself and caring about others. Parasparam. This is the homework which you should do this week. The higher para, that is seeing God in everyone, that is a very advanced level. You cannot start off with that. This is where you should start. So this whole principle will be a little new to you, because all along it's a wrong concept which you may have got from, I don't know from what sources, that torturing yourself in the name of seva, that is what is true seva and all that. Our scriptures don't talk about that. See, our scriptures consider this body as a temple, as a creation of God. Then how can you do bad to yourself also? Seeing divinity in yourself, seeing divinity in others, that is what is true spirituality, no? So you think about all this, and then we will see further subtler principles. Okay? So now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Sit in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. beyond this physical body, beyond the various emotions and thoughts, lies that infinite supreme reality. From this moment onwards, I choose to practice the principle of Parasparam, mutual benefit. I choose to practice the principle of exchange of energy. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. We had a very good session today. This principle of Parasparam is the key. Doing good to yourself and doing good to others. If you don't follow this Parasparam, you will suffer. You will suffer at the hands of someone. Either you will dominate, you will become selfish, or you will suffer at the hands of another person who is selfish. And then you will say, I don't know why God is punishing me and all that. It is your own making. A spiritual person follows Parasparam. He does good to others and he does good to himself also. Think about it, because this will be totally different from whatever wrong concepts you have gathered from different sources. Okay. So as far as announcements go, November 10th, the release of Sri Hanumadhyana. November 17th is the online event. And then in the month of December, the 22-day program on attracting abundance. The empowerment program on attracting abundance is going to be very powerful. It is invoking the Shri Shakti, the Shri aspect. If you remember, finding rhythm in life, 12 aspects of life. One aspect is Shri, wealth. But in a divine way, in a sadhana way. The program is not to make you worldly, but the program is to attract abundance into your life, which you can use to fulfill your worldly duties and also create a lot of spiritual abundance within you. So multiple empowerments are going to be given. So it's very important that you do your daily sadhana and keep your energies focused. Already the preparatory healing energy is being sent, but you will receive it only from that moment where you are registering and committing. Your consciousness is committing, that is the key. So that preparatory healing energy itself will cause a lot of positive effects. Many of your financial difficulties will get resolved. Not only financial, in every sense of the term, you will find that abundance energy has started growing. Many of you have sent me mails already saying that this is happening, that is happening. It's all very good benefits. Of course, after the empowerment, the effects are going to be so magnified. But the key here is you should prepare yourself, you should keep doing your daily sadhana so that you increase your capacity and you receive maximum benefits. Okay, so we'll stop with that today. I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Hari Om.